She said it so softly I almost thought I imagined it. Grandma. Mom said not to tell you what I saw at home, but her little voice cracked like glass. My granddaughter's eyes, wide, wet, searching, cut through me deeper than any blade could. That's when the air shifted. That's when I knew. I didn't finish tucking her in. I didn't tell her everything was fine. I just listened. And what she whispered made me reach forth the phone, my fingers trembling, dialing the police. I remember the day my son first brought her home. My daughter-in-law, perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect lies wrapped in skin. I wanted to believe she was the answer to his restless heart. She charmed me, called me Mom, placed her hand on mini-at dinners as if I were already hers. I gave her trust. I gave her family. I gave her my son. And then, years later, I gave her the benefit of doubt when shadows started crawling into the daylight. It began small, a tight grip on my granddaughter's wrist when she thought no one was looking. A too long silence when I asked how the child's day went. And then the bruises. She called them accidents. Children fall, she said. They stumble, they bruise, they heal. But bruises don't lie. Not when they bloom in patterns of fingers. Not when a kid flinches at the sound of footsteps. I asked my son once quietly. He looked away. His silence told me everything. Fear disguised as loyalty. So I stayed silent too. For a time I watched. I collected. I became patient like a predator waiting for the right breath to strike. That night when she left my granddaughter at my door, it wasn't kindness. It was carelessness. She was too distracted with whatever poison she was drinking at home. Too sure I would remain blind. But children, God bless their innocence, don't know how to keep horror caged inside them for long. My granddaughter whispered what she saw. Her mother's rage, the bruise hidden under sleeves, the screaming matches that ended with broken glass and broken spirits. She told me about nights she hid in closets, about how Mommy said, "If you tell Grandma, they'll take you away." That was the moment. The click inside my chest. I had been waiting for permission to burn it all down. My little girl gave it to me in a whisper. I didn't storm her house. I didn't scream. That's what she would have expected. I called the police, and then I called my lawyer. I set everything in motion with the calm precision of someone who has already buried her grief and sharpened it into a weapon. Every photo I'd taken of bruises, every message I'd saved from Myson, admitting things without admitting them, every detail my granddaughter had whispered. Times, dates, names, I handed it all over. The law is slow, but poison is slower. I could wait. I had waited long enough. The investigation cracked her mask faster than I imagined. They questioned teachers, neighbors, my son, and the cracks spread, exposing everything she thought she had hidden. Drugs in the house, violence, neglect. The facade she wore for years crumbled in days. But I wasn't finished. I attended every hearing, sat front row, and watched her twist in her seat when the evidence was laid out like her Simpson display. My granddaughter's voice, recorded, shaking but brave, cut through the courtroom like a blade. And my daughter-in-law, oh, how her eyes searched for me in that room. She knew. She knew I had pulled the thread that unraveled her. The climax wasn't in the courtroom. It was the night she called me from the cell. Her voice was frantic, stripped of its charm. "How could you do this? I was your family." I let the silence hang, then answered in the calmest tone I've ever heard myself use. "No, you were a thief. You stole my son's strength. You tried to steal my granddaughter's spirit, but you forgot. I don't lose." And I hung up. Now my granddaughter sleeps in the next room, safe. My son is rebuilding piece by piece the man he once was. The woman who thought she could play God with our lives is nothing more than a file number in a system she once mocked. I don't feel guilt. I don't feel pity. I feel relief, because justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper in the dark, the whisper of a child who trusted me enough to break the silence. the whisper that started the fire, and in that whisper I found my vengeance.